Dr. Rana, did you want to make your announcement? Or did you want me? Yes. Oh, you want me to make the announcement? Okay.
I want to ask a question.
Oh, you want to ask the first question? Okay, he's lined up. Anybody else who wants to ask a question, please line up behind Dr. Rana. I want to make an announcement.
Should I go back to the
Friday prayers for those who follow, or anybody of any religion that wants to pray, but
this is
Muslim religion.
At noon.
At
I
noon.
think I'll make the announcement.
See, I knew I would mess it up. I see the balloons up in the air.
Friday, congregational Muslim prayer would be held in the gallery where the coffee was at 12. So
At 1, not at 12?
at 12.
At 12.
Yeah.
Okay.
So soon after this.
Okay, thank you.
Oh,
Bye.
you didn't ask your question. Do you want to ask your question, Dr. Rana?
No, I'll let.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I also have an announcement and a question. And I think when you're talking about structural factors, I'd like to know more also about the role of gentrification and displacement of people who are already really marginalized and exploited, which is really a major factor in DC and many other cities. And then I have a brief announcement. So the role of displacement, gentrification, disrupting social and community networks. You talk about homelessness and housing and jobs and things like that.
If we could just have one panelist take that question.
Charles, do you want to?
It's interesting that you mentioned that. What comes to mind initially, and I know this isn't specifically what you were sort of talking about, but Sarah Schumann, the writer, makes an amazing point about how one of the things that made gentrification possible was the numbers of gay men that started dying in the 80s. So these communities became available. And all this housing became available, and so you had these folks that weren't the artists and the gay men moving into these communities and just started shifting the culture. So, and just also making this point about how even activism has evolved, and that through, and there's a sort of gentrification that has to happen there, and that the priorities of the movement, the kinds of radical thinking and imagination that took place was ultimately undermined and interrupted through the AIDS epidemic. So when I think about it, I think about leadership, I think about and a lot of the leaders that we've lost, I think about communities that have evolved, like a lot of the neighborhoods, for example, look very different now, but that were often sort of centers of support for gay men in particular, LGBT communities, and so, I mean, you can probably see the DuPont Circle, for example. It looks very different. And that's just an argument that Sarah Schumann, the writer, makes.
Okay, thank you. And I think, just off of that is that we have to revitalize the movement that we saw during the 80s. And I think mobilizing communities across racial lines and all these other ways that capitalism really keeps us divided is critical. So my question is, I'd like to ask the audience to attend a rally on December 3rd, which is Monday, at the City Council, the Wilson Building, at 3:30 to 5:30, that's going to make demands on these social factors and these social determinants of health, and not just the medical aspects of HIV. So people are going to sign off on cards, I have blank ones with me, about housing, jobs, incarceration and re-entry issues, and a host of other things. And I think if we don't get out in the streets and we're only in conference rooms, we don't have the chance of really addressing the stigmas that affect us. And I think if, we actually believe there's going to be an AIDS-free generation in the light of these budget cuts, I think we're kidding ourselves. I think we've got to get out there and we've really got to mobilize and bring everybody together against this.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for your question. Dr. Rana?
Yeah, I think these campaigns are social campaigns are very nice. They make us all feel good. But I think we need to start at the start. And one of those things is, who stigmatizes people with HIV? It's usually our public health officials, it's the physicians, and our respected churches and mosques, and who sustains it? It's the physicians, it's the public health officials. But if we don't go back and at least start, look, physicians started it. It's CDC that started it. It is the public health officials who started the stigma. Oh, if you're gay, if you're this, get tested, and people looking at those ads, if you're Haitian, get tested. If you're Pakistani, you don't have to get tested. But it's those things, and we keep repeating the same pattern over and over. And the reason I had Carvel House as the first story was it was all totally legalized public health maneuver to bury a portion of the population and keep them buried in leprosarium and totally separate them from the society. But then we never fess up to it, that look, we do it. How can we have a place, and this is what Dr. Jack, call to action. We need to be monitoring upcoming, just like you have upcoming infection, new opportunistic. I think we need to be monitoring what is the next illness on horizon where we are probably going to go wrong, and how do we avoid that? So I think you guys, I don't mean to sound critical. I'm a physician. I've been taking care of children. I have made plenty of mistakes. But I think the first thing I'd like to speak about is that it was our fault. We started it, and if we don't work on ourselves as physicians first, I think we are missing the boat.
Thank you, Dr. Rana.
Yes, my name is Bill Preston. I just want to thank the panel for a great discussion, and I want to thank all you for being here, and I want to thank Dr. Rana and his team for putting on the International Conference on Stigma and also giving me the opportunity to take the test publicly. I took it. I just want people to know that there's no fear in knowing your status. I mean, the main thing is if we're going to all be champions and for this particular cause to make a difference, we got to step up. So I just wanted to share with you, by God's grace, I was negative, but I just wanted to come back and keep my word, as I always do, is by taking the test publicly to let you know there's nothing to be afraid of. And then the one organization, whoever's giving these gift cards, are giving you a $10 gift card for taking your...
Community Education Group is our testing organization, and they give $10 gift cards if you get tested. So you can get tested, I believe, downstairs.
Yes,
We're
downstairs.
doing testing, so it's free, and you get $10.
Right.
I mean...
So please,
a gift card too. I believe it's a grocery store.
Right, grocery store. Right, for groceries, Dominic's, Safeways, Pavilions.
Right,
you name it. So
Safeway brand. So
right, so
thank you, Bill.
No, thank you,
and thank you for doing that publicly. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity, and God bless you all.
So I hope we have some questions. We're running behind time, so let's go with some questions.
Okay, quick question. Awesome. My name is Jonathan Doucette, and I work at HIPS in Northeast DC. I'm a little nervous.
Be nervous.
So, question. How can we ensure that in naming vulnerable populations like MSM, like trans individuals, that we do not work to further fuel the stigma against those already marginalized?
Great question. Who wants to take it? Nick, Daniel?
One of the great things great pleasures I've had is to really be working with CDC really closely on some of these campaigns. I actually, in another career opportunity, had the great fortune of being able to launch the Act Against AIDS campaign with Nick's predecessor. And I think one of the things that they really tried to listen to very clearly is how do you develop social marketing campaigns where you don't further stigmatize the population that you're trying to reach. I think this is clearly an example of that, following on the heels of 9.5 minutes. And that is that you really try to normalize this and really turn it around from the standpoint of not saying that someone in particular is more vulnerable to HIV, while at the same time trying to get across a message that everyone should be really tested in terms of their HIV status. But it's going to take time. You know, Charles pointed out the campaign that GMHC did, the I Love My Boo campaign. There are a lot of things going on like this right now that are happening. Positive Frontiers just launched a campaign called Sex Positive. And it's really about trying to make sure that people understand that not only can they get education about HIV is transmitted, but they do it in a way to, again, not further stigmatize certain populations. So, you know, I think that CDC is really working in a great direction to do that. and is taking the lead. And many organizations around this country have also been sort of working to try and do that. But it's going to take all of us collectively to try and do that. It won't happen overnight. But I think that we can continually remind ourselves, when you look at a campaign, is this something that I really feel empowered by? Or is this something that makes me sort of cringe and feel a little bit ashamed? And then try and let people know who developed that campaign sort of what your thoughts are.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Hi, Rick Zimmerman. I'm an HIV prevention and health communication researcher at George Mason University. For Dr. DeLuca, interesting looking campaign. Are you evaluating its outcomes? And how are you doing that?
So thank you. I think, can you hear me on this one?
Yeah. Yes.
So thank you for asking the question. Like I said, we have 10 different campaigns, and depending on the type of campaign, we have different evaluation strategies. Of course, we have a logic model, et cetera. But for some of the general awareness campaigns, we're limited in what we can do. Of course, we have all of the process data, but we also have those national surveys by which we have those stigma-related questions, so we'll be looking at those over time. The campaigns that are a little bit easier for us to look at impact, that's probably what you're getting at, like increasing testing and things like that, are those testing campaigns, like our Testing Makes Us Stronger campaigns, where we know that we're rolling out in certain cities, we're doing intensive efforts and mobilization efforts as well. And so we're looking at trends over time that get reported to the CDC. We also have certain web-based surveys where we ask about exposure to the campaign. We're looking at not only utilization of like YouTube or Facebook, but how many people go to our HIVtest.org locators and things like that. So those are the types of things we're doing. With our provider campaigns, because we really know who's sort of being exposed to those, we have a little bit better chance of looking at some of the behavior changes, and we're trying to reflect some of the changes in their clinical practices as well, both pre and post exposure to the campaign.
Thanks. Yeah. We also want to thank Dr. Zimmerman for being our pianist today, and he was playing when you all heard the music coming in the room. So thank you. And also I'm going to ask the line stop with the gentleman. Thank you. Then we'll have our performance. So next question. Thank you.
Okay. Hello everyone. My name is Omari and I'm from the Washington Middle School for Girls.
Speak up a little bit. You're doing well.
My name is Omari McDuffie and I attend the Washington Middle School for Girls. And my question was that, are there any groups or activities that teens can do to help stop stigma against HIV?
Yes, it was since she's local. Miranda in the back, see her in the orange. And these young people will be performing for you in a couple minutes. They're called Promising Futures. Mm-hmm. And Miranda has worked with a number of other young and youth-oriented groups around the city that do stuff in HIV, and I'm sure she can tell you more. And there's also Metro Teen AIDS, which I'm sure somebody in here is from Metro Teen AIDS. Yeah. All right now, okay. And so they are also an awesome group, and they also pay young people, I believe starting at age 13 you can work there. And so, and it's also a place you can go and hang out. And so I would love to hook you up with them too, so I hope you get to stay for the youth track because you'll get to meet all those people.
Thank you.
Awesome. Great question.
And I would just add, if I could, a little shameless promotion too, that I think we gave you lots of opportunities on social media to get messages out there. And so I know youth are much more savvy at those social media, Facebook, Twitter, etc. You can certainly do things like that to get the message out.
Yes. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
This is not a question, and I crave your indulgence, but I grabbed Lisa on the way out, and I said, could I rain on your parade? Because there's some issues that I'd like to bring up in today's session. I have heard so much this morning, my head is just spinning. I'm anxious to go back to my office, sit down and digest all of this, and to wrap my head around all the important information that you've shared with me this morning. But there's one perspective that I think is missing from this excellent conference, and it's the perspective of employment discrimination. I am Andrea Okwesa, O-K-W-E-S-A, and I'm the Outreach and Training Program Manager in the Washington Field Office of the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. That is our chief mission. We deal with employment discrimination, how harassment, the type of stigma that you've been discussing today, how it affects the bottom line, how it affects people's ability to gain employment for themselves and their families. This is all we do. That's our mission. We are a federal government agency. We emerged, we were actually established after the Civil Rights Movement, we're an outgrowth of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, when it was recognized that discrimination did not only affect the blacks who were primary in the Civil Rights Movement, but also other ethnic groups, immigrants, women, people across this nation who are prevented from gaining employment for one or another reason. We target sex, we target age over 40, we target national origin, religion, disability. And I must mention that when I heard Michelle's absolutely spellbinding performance this morning, her presentation, and she mentioned that she lost her job because her disability was not accommodated, my heart sank. We have cases like this every single minute in the EEOC.
What should people do if
I will leave my card at the desk. I will also be bonding and forming partnerships with a lot of these excellent speakers to have them introduce this component into their work. Please do, anyone who is experiencing any kind of discrimination, and of course we're here addressing AIDS today, but any kind of discrimination, get in touch with us. We have offices, 57 field offices spread across the entire United States. We have a headquarters very close by here on M Street Northeast. We have a website, www.eeoc.gov. You can get in touch with us, go on our website. There's a wealth of information, and we are willing to listen to your problems and to serve you. We are there to help. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, a last question.
I'm Blaine Sheffer from Northern Virginia AIDS Coalition and Concerned Citizen. I wondered how much work and how many people, what the effort is in terms of trying to educate local judges in terms of decriminalization of HIV. Going around talking to local judges and the whole judicial process.
Yeah, I don't know that I could
say. Do you want me to answer that? Rashida, are you in the room? Where are you?
There she is. Looking good. Rashida.
All right, you come here. You answer the question. Or go to the mic. Answer the question. Yeah. Rashida is a lawyer, and she works for the Center for HIV Law and Policy.
And I'm also the chair for the state advocacy working group of the Positive Justice Project, and this is one endeavor that the Positive Justice Project is working on, is both prosecutorial guidelines for educating prosecutors, but also we're trying to create an educational packet and presentation for judges. And we also encourage not only lawyers, but community activists, people in public health, medical fields, or anyone that's interested to participate, because it's not only, it takes a large effort to educate people, and it can be done by anyone. So,
do you have a card to give the gentleman?
Oh, I do.
Okay. Oh, okay. Let's make it happen. All right. All right, here we go. So, I want to start by thanking everyone, all of our panelists. Thank you so much for an awesome discussion.
Hi, my name is Sierra Wheeler, and we are Promising Futures. Promising Futures is a program for teen students to become peer educators and use performance to promote a vast range of adolescent topics. We're here today to perform a poem about HIV myths.
My mom said, you can only get it from kissing. But the lady who came to my school passing out condoms told me,
you'd have to drink gallons of saliva and have swords in your mouth to get it that way.
But I didn't tell that to my mom because I'd be calling her a liar. My piece told me,
only gay guys get it.
And since we weren't gay, I didn't have nothing to trip about. My girl told me,
girl, it ain't that big of a deal. Just take more vitamins than everyone else.
No one told me shagging unprotected with ignorance would ship me business class to his front doorstep. I guess that part they forgot. And I figured, since Starbucks doesn't sell spit, and I'm not gay. And I take vitamins on a regular. And I don't kiss that many folk. I should be straight until the test was positive. And I thought it odd to hit such a term when the topic of conversation wasn't developing photographs. Here I am, wondering, who told me wrong? Woo!
How's everybody doing today? So, Promising Futures is my baby. It's an organization I started in 2002, and as Sierra, one of the trained peer educators, said, basically it's a program, it's a pipeline youth development program for middle school youth, the Washington Middle School for Girls, shout out in the back, that's right, and also they participate in after-school-based, curriculum-based projects, and they are facilitated by high school youth. The high school youth that you just saw perform are the peer educators representing various DC area schools. In this particular cohort, we have Banneker and School Without Walls and Capital City Public Charter School. And then they're also mentored by college level team advisors. So as you can see, there's a clear pipeline there. And so if you want more information about it, feel free to ask me. But in the interim, we're going to, I know everyone's, ready for lunch. So we're going to actually have one of the organizations that we partner with, O.B.E.Y, come to the stage and grace you with their presence. So Sierra's going to do a quick little introduction.
So now we'll have O.B.E.Y come to the stage, and O.B.E.Y means overgifted bodied, entertaining youth.
You are now tuned in to the O.B.E.Y Dance Crew. Hey, yo, you know!
Who gas them up? Them man up fed come now IGL. When me bust me a skirt, left them like dead dog a road of sweat. Too much space man anyway. So don't be up to them. When me the dog, them man a puppy when me stick life. We select life. I fi take a watch the pussy when me dump in on. Too much space man anyway. So me don't talk. Any more talk, me talk a gun talk. Make it jump off in a baseball lit park. Who's the one me tell you say me done talk? Half dozen the pussy get no get them from the pussy. Get a destiny, nobody can stop the mind when you forget. Mama love you to death. Face smash out, mama little dress. Hang up a war 21 like she a sukumet. Rifle shot them in the telescope. Back the boy them. So what hell I'm pick up any soap. So there is not any work in them boy them in many rope. We like the place so we never see no jail not any court. Back it up on the body and a bend it and a broke it. You want no drop it and me get a pussy and me rock it. You want no drop it, rock it. You want no drop it, rock it. Rock it, rock it, rock it, rock it, rock it, rock it. You want no drop it and me get a pussy and me rock it. Back it up on the knee and the tongue and belly got it. And you know yourself full of it, no no monkey monkey. Come up in me put it on the shoot it and a book it. Yes, it don't come me steady and I ride it like a jockey. Me spend me money on your girl because your pussy what it but the firm no soft like putty. Them type of girls them me like. Girl them body got a shit on the back of the bike. Me like. Good girl we bad bunny body, good girl we bad bunny body, good girl we bad bunny body, good girl we bad bunny body. Don't know snake, man in this system. How about that? Put it in the last food man. Yeah, you know my own town doing that there. Shut no fool, how will you feel fool? You think not chop your old man bow your fool. Let go for your clock no fool. You think some man fool? I straight we want you straight for sure you how we done fool. Flipping fool, so you believe the are cool. How you a bad man and make girl tell you left your tool. Sleeping fool, then find you float in a pool. Look how you did that chat, well tell me about me woman a fool. We know war fancy, we favor rum and toll. Do we wanna think we no report to the fool. Everyone a marking to do one shot a roll. Boots war, you have no face fool. When we war dangerous. As some little boy you got me know them afraid of us. We invent war, them take it off. As some boy you want them know who fit chat to talk.
O.B.E.Y is a homegrown youth organization, and they basically use, as you can see, a combination of flex, where you have the arms pop and lock and all that, and then they also do break dance, and they do a variety. They beat their feet, and what they're going to do now is, obviously the theme is stigma. They're going to do a quick battle, and you'll see that one dancer is going to battle another dancer on actually using a condom. So they're going to use their bodies to show how to put on a condom. And then the other, whoever wins that battle is going to battle the other dancer on getting an HIV test. And this is calls for some audience participation. So what you're going to do, you don't have to come up here and flex or break, but we do want you, to, by a round of applause, to actually share who you thought did a better job. Okay? So I'll go ahead and start the first song. Let me start the first song. So by a round of applause, who thinks that the D-Money, the one with the hat on, did a better job for HIV testing? Okay. By a round of applause, who thinks that Raza Adriel did a better job? We have a winner. Okay. So Raza Adriel is going to battle Ty, and they're going to do condom use. Okay, for that last final round, who thinks that the reigning champ, Roz Adriel, did a better job of condom use? Okay, what about the challenger, Ty? It looks like Ty got it. All right, so get that mic and tell them where to find you online. That's not working?
My bad. So, my name is Roz Adriel. My name D-Money. My name Neil, y'all. My name Tada. And you can find us on YouTube at Roz Adriel on the channel, YouTube channel, and you can follow us on Twitter at O.B.E.Y Dance, and like our page, O.B.E.Y with acronyms. O.B.E.Y stands for Over Gifted Bodies Entertaining You. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to get our information, you can either go to the website. I mean, not the website, the Facebook page or the Twitter, and you can book us, or you can just talk to us after the show. Get our email addresses, and if you want us to attend an event and just entertain, or you can come to the Dances to the Washington, because we usually we're there all the time with students in there and stuff. So yeah, that's it. So thank you for having us.